Hi, Todd Garno here with Three Creeks Capital. Today I'm going to talk to you about something that's very misunderstood amongst Ohio public employees when they retire. They make the mistake of assuming that the pension payment will always keep up with inflation. So think of your cost of living adjustment and the actual inflation rate. Here's why most people get it wrong. If you look here on the spreadsheet that I built, let's take a look at the starting investment as your monthly income. So what we know about your monthly income in this example, it's $3,000 per month. We have this thing that's called simple interest, and then we have compound interest, and then we have inflation. Okay, so let's talk about the three of them and why everybody gets this wrong when they're making long-term retirement income projections. Starting amount, $3,000. The interest rate that we're going to use is 3%. That's the COLA. Okay, so think of this here really as your COLA. And then the inflation rate, we'll go ahead and leave it 3%. We'll match the COLA rate. Okay. And you can see I built this spreadsheet over a 30-year time period, which could be very likely that someone lives in retirement 30 years. So this should be a pretty good analysis of what your pension benefit's going to look like over time. Here's the mistake that everybody makes. The pension systems, when they pay your cost of living adjustment, it's always simple interest. What does that mean? It's based on your original benefit. Okay, so if I'm getting $3,000 today, but then in year 17 I'm getting 4530, my new COLA is always based on the original 3,000, not this new 4530 that I picked as an example. Okay, so you have to remember compound versus simple interest because it makes a massive difference long term in how much you're getting each month. So if we assume compound interest and we're actually getting simple, then we've overestimated how much income we're going to have over time. The other thing is how this COLA will not likely keep up with inflation. And I'll show you that here in a second. So let's just start with the easy math. $3,000 a month. We know in year one, after I've been retired, I get my first cost of living adjustment. I can see 3% of 3,000 is $30.90. That makes perfect sense in year one. But you can see in year two where it starts to change. I'm now at $31.80 versus $31.83. And you think, Todd, what's the big deal? $3. But it's not in those first few years that compound versus simple makes a big difference. Okay, so let's roll out into year 20. As you can see here, what's happening? Well, in year 20, your benefit should be $4,800. That's what you're getting from PERS, STRS, OP&F. Doesn't matter. Okay, but if you were under a compound versus simple, you would have gotten about $620 more per month had the pension systems paid compound interest. Okay, so again, you can see over that 20-year time period, $600 more a month, $7,200 more a year. You could have wildly overestimated your annual income. Okay, so this is really, really important. What we want to take into consideration too is that inflation rate. Okay, so let's assume your inflation rate goes up by 3.5%. And now your COLA is paying 3%. Okay, so what just happened there? Well, we can see in the red, that compound interest, well, your benefit would have been much greater than the simple interest. That's pretty easy. But if you look here, the green line, what it's showing you is how much value your pension is actually losing relative to the inflation rate. So as that inflation rate continues to climb, we can see that value becomes less and less. And so this is really, really important, because the day we retire and what we actually get in the future are really two different things because of inflation. So again, when doing retirement planning with your OPERS, STRS, OPNF, doesn't matter which Ohio pension you're looking at, just keep in mind that it's based on a simple interest COLA, and because of inflation, your pension's probably worth a lot less than what you thought day one. If you have questions about how to think about this for your future, please contact us. We've been working with Ohio public employees for over 20 years. I used to work for the pension system for 7 years, and ultimately can help you figure out what you should be considering as you're planning retirement. Thank you.